Hey guys, this time we're going to talk about buying a house with a mortgage. We're going to compute the necessary information for buying a home with a mortgage. So lots of terminology and stuff in here. First, a mortgage is a long-term loan from a bank in which a property is pledged as security for payment and the difference between the down payment and the sale price. Basically, it's for buying a house, and if you don't pay, they can take the property back. That's what it means when the property is pledged as security. The mortgage states the terms of the loan, schedule, duration, and whether the loan can be assumed by another party, and the penalty if payments are late. So all of those are details, like can you sell the house, can somebody else take over the mortgage, things like that. The down payment is what you pay up front before they will allow you to buy them or get the mortgage to buy the house, basically. Usually it's between 5%, could be up to 50%, could be higher than that too. But usually it's 20% is preferred, usually. Not always. Fixed interest rate for the duration, that's a conventional loan. That's the kind of the standard. Adjustable rate, the interest rate is, it can vary. They can change it every now and then. Usually they'll, the first couple of years it'll be set at a certain percentage and then it can change after that. That's usually how it goes. And then closing, that's called, that's just the last step when you're buying a house. It's called closing. With mortgages, they have this thing called points. You can lower your interest rate and things like that usually. That's what you would use it for. You can, basically it's like buying a better loan. 1 point is equal to 1% of the loan. All right, so we're going to look at this example here. Patty and Marshall are purchasing a house for $249,000. They plan to get a loan from their bank. The bank requires a 15% down payment and a payment of 2 points payable to the bank at the time of closing. So determine the down payment. Down payment is 15%. So we're looking at 15% of the purchase price multiplied by the 249,000. So 15% is 37,350. Determine the mortgage, so the amount that's going to be financed will be the rest of this. So the 249,000 minus the 37. So 249,000 minus that 37,350. I'm just going to do a shift answer. So 211,650. That would be the amount of the mortgage, the loan for the house. And then the cost of those 2 points. On the previous slide here, it says that 1 point is equal to 1% of the loan. So 2 points would be 2% of the loan. So 2% of the loan is 211 $650 times 2%. So that's $4,233. So they'll have to pay the $37,350 as a down payment and the $4,233 for their 2 points, which means that when they go to purchase this house, they need to have $41,583 ready to go. Banks use a formula to determine the maximum monthly payment that they believe you could pay. They determine your monthly income, adjusted monthly income, by subtracting from your gross monthly income any fixed payments that you have to pay. So like if you have a car loan or anything else, anything that you're paying on, whatever you might already owe money towards that you're paying. So they multiply your adjusted monthly income by 28%, and that's the maximum that they say you can afford for principal, interest, property taxes, and insurance. So everything that would be related to your house, they want it to be 28%. So we're going to look at the mortgage payment. We're going to be using a table for this. So determine the monthly principal and interest payments using the table. This gives you the amount of principal and interest per $1,000 of mortgage. And we'll use a formula here. Principal and interest divided by the mortgage amount equals the table value divided by 100. Then you add on property taxes and homeowner's insurance to the principal and interest payment. And that will be the entire mortgage payment. Sometimes you also have like homeowners association fees, HOA fees in there also, sometimes. All right, so we're going to look at Patty and Marshall. Go back. Here we go. It says that their gross income is $7,250, and they have a couple other payments. They have braces for their kid, they have a car loan, and they've got a furniture loan. All of these are more than 10 months, like it said, so all of those will be factored in. And then it says that property taxes and homeowners insurance are $165 and $115. Their bank will approve a loan that has a total monthly mortgage payment of principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners that is less than or equal to 28% of their adjusted monthly income. So first we're going to figure out their adjusted monthly income. So when we look back at what we wrote down for that, you determine your adjusted monthly income by subtracting your gross monthly income and subtract fixed monthly payments that have 10 or more months left. All of those payments had more than 10 months, so we subtract all of them. So we're going to start with their gross monthly income and subtract these payments, the $225 for the car and $175 for braces, and then $45 for furniture. So that's $68.05. Pen's being kind of weird, but that's okay. Determine the monthly mortgage payment. The bank will approve 28% of their adjusted. So multiply that by 28%. So 0.28. $1905.4. So now we're going to look at a 30-year loan for this, the $211,650. And it says it's 7%. So we're going to look at 7% and 30 years. That gives us this table value right here of 6.65. And we're going to determine the total monthly mortgage payment, principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners insurance for this. So we said in our notes for this table value that that's 6.65. That's the amount of principal and interest per $1,000. And we will use this formula here. So we'll take table value over 100, and then it's principal and interest over the mortgage amount. So it's principal and interest over the mortgage amount equals the table value over 100, I think is what was there. We did have 100 there, but it's supposed to be 1,000 because it was per $1,000 of the loan. So now we'll just so fix that there. And now we're going to solve this out. So we're going to multiply the mortgage, 211,650, times the 6.65, and divide by 1,000. Which really just moves the decimal 3 spots. So that means that our principal and interest payment would be $1,407. And 47 cents. Now that's just principal and interest. It says the monthly mortgage payment, which is principal and interest, plus property taxes and homeowners. And up above, those were listed at $165 and $115. So we'll add on those two numbers. and get the total monthly payment of $16.87 and 47 cents. Now this last question here says, do they qualify? Well, up above we calculated that they would qualify for $1,905 and 40 cents, and this is definitely under that. So yes, because that 1687 is less than what they qualified. That 19, was it? 0540. All right, so we're going to look Patty and Marshall again. They saved for a long time. They finally have a house selling for $249,000. They made a 15% down payment. They obtained the 30-year conventional mortgage for the rest of it, the $211,000 to $650,000. They paid the 2 points, and their monthly principal and interest payment is $1,407.47. That's what we just wrote down here. And it says points are considered like prepaid interest. You're paying it up front. That's basically the way it works out. So determine the total amount, including principal, interest, down payments, and points that they will pay for the house over the next 30 years. This does not tell us to factor in homeowners insurance and taxes and all that sort of stuff. So we're just looking at that for the principal and interest payment. And you're going to make that 12 payments a year for 30 years. And then on top of that, they paid the down payment of $37,350. Plus the points that they paid, which was, it was 2%, but we calculated it back here. $4,233 for their 2 points. $4,233. So this would be the total amount of money that they paid. It's the down payment plus those points plus principal and interest for 30 years. So we have that 1,407 and 47 cents times 12 months times 30 years. That's 506,000. $689. and 20 cents. So if we add all that up, that's what's paid over 30 years. So we've got that total already, plus the down payment. Plus 42.33 for those 2 points that they paid. So the total is 548. $272. All right, so how much of that is interest? Well, everything is going to be interest because we consider points prepaid interest. Everything is interest except the purchase price. So we just need to take that 548, 272. Oh man, this is not writing well. And minus the purchase price. Everything else is interest. Points are prepaid interest. Everything else would just be interest. So if we take that and we subtract the purchase price, so that means the interest is $299. $272. And 20 cents in interest. So basically $300,000 in interest over that 30 years. All right, and then the last question, how much of the first mortgage payment is applied to principal? If you remember, in a previous lesson, we talked about how your payment always pays off the interest first, and then the rest goes to principal. So let's find out how much interest there would be. Interest is principal times rate times time. The principal is 200. $211,650. Times the rate, 7% per year. So then time, when it's just talking about 1 month, we're talking 1/12. And then times 1/12, so divided by 12. 1234.63. So that's how much interest on that first payment. And then up above we have that the principal and interest payment is $1407.47. And we'll subtract the interest. So that's 1407. So the principal and interest payment, 0.47 minus the interest that we just calculated. So that means $172.84 is going towards the principal, because you have to subtract the interest first. And then usually your statement will tell you interest and principal breakdown like this. And each month you'll get a little bit more, like maybe $1 more added onto your, because you'll have $1 or so less in interest each month because your principal goes down every single month. So, and that's it. Go ahead and finish up, complete that worksheet that you'll find in the Files tab, and get it submitted.